Do you believe that President Trump believes, and you do believe, that a two-state solution is the future?
No. I think we have to recognize there was a Palestinian state. It was called Gaza. Look how that turned out. You can't have a Palestinian state on top of the Israeli state if the Palestinians continue to believe that Israel shouldn't exist. Because the Palestinians don't believe in a two-state solution. They believe in a one-state solution, and their solution, and Israel disappears. That's no solution whatsoever. Israel has a right to its autonomous, indigenous homeland that they've had for 3,500 years since the days of Abraham.
Can we just talk about how, like, Huckabee just said no when he said, do you believe in a two-state solution?
No.
Like a very decisive no.
No.
And he goes all the way back to Abraham. He said, this is an ancient covenantal land with a covenantal people. This belongs to the people of Israel. There cannot be another state inside the land. And when you understand that evil exists in the world, this is well documented. When Hitler was at the end of the war, he needed to make a decision. Could he send reinforcements to the front lines and maybe win the war, or send the supplies and resources to continue to annihilate the Jews? And Hitler irrationally sent resources instead of winning the war to just continue to kill the Jews as best as he could before he was taken out.
It wasn't irrational because that's his war.
Exactly. When we understand that the prime motivation has nothing to do with politics, when October 7th, no one was screaming free Palestine. It was a spiritual, religious war hell-bent against the Jews, and establishing anything outside of Jewish sovereignty in God's given land to the people of Israel will never work.
I foresee that you're going to see a mass hate, anti-Semitism, Jew hatred from this new thing more than any other area, because every news agency is ready. They weren't allowed in Gaza. I mean, there was a few that would have their Arab that was there, but it was closed a lot. There was a lot of closed. Here in Judea and Samaria, it's open, and you're going to see the hatred for Jews increase massively. We just saw this new stat that Harvard did, where 21% of Americans support Hamas. Like, how outrageous is that?
And the younger it goes in the poll that was done,
the more support,
the higher the support is for Hamas. Meaning, if you're, ages 24 to 34 has a much, I think it's 32%.
I think we need a brace for this because I think it's going to get worse.
1 out of 3 young Americans now support the Hamas.
That's why
extreme.
The sixth thing Trump should have done was to issue a decree that American universities are not allowed to receive funding from foreign enemy states.
Right. That would have been nice.
That would have been nice. I mean, this is what the result is. This is why he wanted to ban TikTok.
Well, I was just about to say, if he had upheld the ban on TikTok, that might have been step one for seeing this support for Hamas go down.
But I really do foresee it. I don't know if you guys agree that what we're about to see happen here with this, you have a much more anti-Semitic approach inside of these areas where this media is going to be awful against Israel because they're misrepresenting. The narrative is completely off. They're saying we're the indigenous, and it's falling on ears that believe it. And the truth is it's a radicalized Islamic group that's trying to destroy Israel, but they're using this facade to describe themselves, and the world is believing it.
Do you like to read through the entire Bible in a year while also connecting with Israel, the Jewish people, and the Torah? Daily Bread Bible Journals are the best annual scripture reading plan that we have found. They break up a daily reading plan into 4 easy-to-read portions, including the weekly Torah portion, the writings, prophets, and the New Testament. Each day's reading includes the regular calendar date, as well as the corresponding date on the Hebrew calendar, as well as space for journaling your favorite Bible verse from the day, or just your thoughts. At the bottom of each page, an On This Day in History section shares facts and commemorates important historical and biblical events. Right now, you can get the Daily Bread Bible Journals on our store by clicking the link in the description below. We also have special journals just for children, and you don't want to wait because we don't have many journals left in stock. The Daily Bread Journals are the best annual scripture reading plan we know of for Christians. It's an amazing way to connect with Israel, the Jewish people, the Hebrew calendar, and the roots of your faith. Get your daily breads today for yourself, your children, or for the entire family. Just click the link in the description below. we see the war in Lebanon with Hezbollah has pretty much quieted down now. Remains to be seen if that will be upheld. The war in Gaza, it's like 50-50 at best right now, right? Whether this hostage deal is actually going to continue for the next month or two. Most people think it's not going to be upheld, but at the moment, the war quieting down in Gaza. Judea and Samaria, it's kind of escalating. I mean, there's been a major operation that has looked like a war in Jenin, which is not that far from where we're sitting right now in Samaria. We're talking about airstrikes and the military going in full force to uproot terror.
Here's another difference that I just want to say quickly. I know we're going to wrap up, but literally these guys are so backward. They're so primitive. They're creating handmade bombs. They're creating these. We had a drone land not so far from where we're sitting right now. It was just a regular drone with they had this like electrical taped bomb, homemade bomb connected to it. That's the idiots. I mean, maybe you call it idiot. It seems idiotic to me to tape a bomb to electrical tape a bomb to a drone and try to fly it. Thank God it didn't work because it was too heavy and it crashed before it arrived at the location very near to us right now. That's the kind of thing we're dealing with. And that's why it's so dangerous, because we're talking about a whole society. They're not in uniform. It's called terrorism, and it's all over this area. And that's what they've been dealing with. It's just really close to us right now. And that's a level of, we've never seen that before.
Well, the two Arab factions that really operate in Judea and Samaria, well, they're both terrorist organizations. They're both political, like every terrorist organization. So the head of Hamas in Judea and Samaria said, just as we defeated Israel in Gaza, we will defeat them here as well. And Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Authority, said the terrorist murderers that are being released are heroic role models. Yeah. And so we are dealing with both sides of that entire society that are being groomed to be Jew haters and killers and take a kid's drone and try to strap a bomb to it. Why not?
Yeah, they're being emboldened. They're being emboldened. We just saw the Ayatollah just sent out on Twitter, right? He said 3 words: Gaza has won. Gaza has won. They think when we cut a deal with them, when we shake hands with them, when we have any pact with them, like, well, they must have won. Why? Because they're projecting. Because otherwise, why would we, if they didn't win, why would we strike a deal?
Right.
Why would we even do that? They would never do such a thing.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think as we wrap up, I think it's very important for everyone to be very clear on something. There's no difference between Hamas, Fatah, Hezbollah, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Whoever control these groups that control Gaza, control Judea and Samaria, Lebanon, whatever it is, there's no difference. They all want the same thing: the eradication of the Jewish people, the destruction of Israel, a one-state solution. Because we went into the Arab mayor's office from a village locally here, and there's the state of Israel with the word Palestine written on it right next to his desk. Like, that is their goal. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So I think it's important for people to know there is zero future for anyone, Jew, Arab, Christian, whoever it is, in any of these areas under any of these terrorist groups. There's an amazing, bright future if Israel comes in, because that's the record that Israel has. 100% of the cases, 100% of the time. Israel is in control. Israel is sovereign. Peace and prosperity for everyone.
I just want to take what you said one step further. The one state that they want isn't here in the Middle East. The one state that they want is the global caliphate. All those organizations that you mentioned are all the same, because they're all fighting for the same thing: global jihad, a global caliphate, one Islamic state, which is the entire world. Yeah. Just listen to all of them. That's all what they're saying. And what is Israel here to do? We're actually here really to do the opposite. From the entire world will be filled with knowledge of God as the rivers cover the sea. We need to be teaching Torah, teaching the Bible, teaching the beauty and the sanctity of life. If we're not broadcasting truth, that void that we're leaving empty is going to be filled with the darkness of the global jihad. This is also a spiritual war, and we need to recognize that and step up and be the nation of Israel that we were created to be.
So I want to end with a little Torah then. That's inspired me. And so the story of Israel is we were enslaved as a family, and then the Egyptians began to persecute us, afflict us, enslave us. And the verse says, as we were persecuted and afflicted, we grew stronger and stronger. And in 2024, Israel was second in the world of investments in startups. $10 billion came into Israel under the war and the affliction and the persecution and Hamas and hostages. Israel continues to grow stronger every day. And that's really the hope, because there is this global caliphate, global jihad. Israel is here to save the world, and every year we're getting stronger and stronger. Just like when we were persecuted in Egypt, soon we will be liberated and hopefully liberate the world with us.
Guys, thank you so much for being with us. I do encourage you, subscribe to the Israel Guys, subscribe to the Land of Israel Network, wherever you're watching or listening, and also check out the work that these guys are doing, the Land of Israel Network, the Land of Israel Fellowship.
Thelandofisrael.com.
At thelandofisrael.com. We'll put the link in the description below. You can also check out the work that the Israel Guys are doing, new shows, new content all the time, and let us know. We want to hear you guys' thoughts about today's episode. Coming to you third week in a row, every single week. Happy to have you guys with us. And I completely forgot my outro, but we'll be back next week.